All right, so a big water change today. That's about not quite a third of the volume, not including the sump. So I'm thinking that's probably around 50 gallons or so. My RODI unit won't make water too fast. So this is where I'm going to stop today because I'm traveling this week. So I'm just going to call it good. Now, one thing that happened when I got in here and I was cleaning is I bumped some of these rocks and they just came loose and fell. Now I cemented most of them in, and I noticed that one kind of cement, it's cement. It's like a regular kind of cement. It holds great. The other kind that I used was like a silicone, and it's still bonded to itself, but up in the rocks, it kind of just peeled away real easy. So that's a whole nother issue that I'm gonna have to address. So if you look over here, I took a bunch of my aquascape out, which I'm not overly disappointed in because it just wasn't really what I like to begin with. And then the other piece of it is covered in algae from the what's going on, so it gives me an opportunity to clean it. I'm going to ask Mr. Saltwater Tank if it's salvageable, if I can dip it in something or clean it with something. And then maybe I'll try re-gluing some arches or something to put in here. But actually it still doesn't look that bad. And with the kind of fish that I'm having, and they're kind of big, you know, maybe this is really a more appropriate aquascape anyway. Because sometimes when you build something like this, you get carried away. You're like, ooh, it's like a big Lego set and you just want bigger. And once I had it done, it was filling up so much of my tank that I'm like, when these fish get big, they're not gonna have a lot of room to swim around. So I'm rethinking that. And so the little disaster I had really wasn't a disaster at all. But the sand's kind of white again. I've got some brown in there. But now it's time to get the salt water back in here, and then we're going to add a UV sterilizer, and hopefully that's going to do some good. Unfortunately, in this episode, you're not going to get to see the results because it's got to run for a few days, and I'm going to be traveling most of next week. So here we go. Let's get the water back in here. All right, so I just made salt water, and I pump out of my RODI unit into a bucket, check my TDS. The water's super clean, and then I mix salt water, and it's been in here with a little heater and the mixing pumps for a few hours, and I'm going to use it right away. So now I'm just going to take my 20 gallon, I think it's 20 gallons, brute trash can full of salt water, and I don't have far to go, just right over here. Now some people have suggested, you know, why don't you just run a hose and use your zero pump, your Seashade zero pump. Well, I don't know about the head pressure and running it over there, but these are on wheels. It's not a really big deal to just roll it over here, and then I can kind of contain any spills that I might have. Lucky for me, it's mostly tile here. This is a laminate floor, so it wipes up really good. So I'm not overly cautious when I do these water changes. I kind of do them fast, and I always spill a little bit of water, but never enough to get underneath there and set off my leak detector or anything like that. Let me grab my zero pump and we'll pump water in here. Okay, so I've got my Seashade zero pump right here. This thing will get, meaning it'll get down to no water, zero. I mean, it sucks from the bottom and brings up pretty much everything. So I'm just gonna drop it down into my newly made fresh salt water. And then I picked up this Python guy on SaltwaterAquarium.com. It just hangs over the back, and then that way, you know, you got something that'll hold it. Now I've got Euro bracing here, so look at it, doesn't quite fit that way. If I go over the back, it does. And then I'll just clamp it on as well for a little safety. Let me grab a clamp. So I just picked up these. These are just, you know, plastic clamps I got from Amazon. I'm not sure if we carry these on Saltwater Aquarium, but you know, look at it, it's nice and sturdy there. But I'm here the whole time watching it. And then another thing that I've done is on my Hydros launch, I've just set one of my outlets to always on, and it's just an outlet that I can just go plug into. So I'm just going to plug this right into my Hydros launch right here into port number 2. That's always on, and now we're pumping clean salt water. So I've got 20 gallons going in, and then I need to take clean water again, put it into this mixing bucket and mix another 20 gallons, and then see where the level is and see how much more I need to make today. I can't make any now because I've only got 2 brute cans and they're both full. So as soon as I dump this and change the 2, I'll start the RODI unit back up and start making fresh water again. Clean reverse osmosis deionized water. I love saying that. And then I also, while I'm running that unit, got to fill up my auto top-off reservoir again. Since I brought the temperature up in this tank to 81 and I keep my house at 72, I'm finding that it's pumping a lot more clean water in here. I think I'm getting more evaporation with the hotter water. But yeah, here we go. This is just regular maintenance. I haven't gone and bumped my cleaning schedule up too much. This is only my 2nd water change on this tank ever. So I maybe need to battle this a little bit more aggressively and do another maybe 2 water changes a week, maybe even more for a little while till we get these dinos under control. Now I'm reading a lot online about dinos, and I'm asking everybody I know. I'm going to be with some folks in the industry this week. I'm going to ask them all about, you know, their experience with dinos and what to do, and then of course bring that information to you folks here. It seems like every episode's about dinos lately, right? Because, you know, that's what I'm dealing with. So let's get this clean water in here and get that UV sterilizer going. All right, here it is, the ice cap in sump UV sterilizer. Now, you know, I was looking at a bunch of videos on YouTube trying to figure out this whole UV sterilizer thing, because basically the only conversation I had with Mr. Saltwater Tank was in text, and then the other one that, if you've been following this series, you saw where he had mentioned UV sterilization. And a lot of people put these things in because they want that super crystal clear water. You know, that's how your tank looks so beautiful. Because what happens here is it just kind of kills a lot of stuff that's in the water, all those tiny little particulates, little microorganisms. And that's why some people don't run these all the time. This will definitely be a learning curve for me, but I'm not too concerned about a whole lot because I don't have any corals in my tank yet. If I'm going to put any in there at all anyway. And I just have 3 fish that are all pretty hardy fish, and they've been in there for over a month. But I'm dealing with the dinoflagellates. So how do you say that anyway? Is it dinoflagellates or dinoflagellates? I don't really know. I hear it different ways when I watch different videos. So let's get this thing out of the box and take a look at it. Okay, first up, a little thing I unpackaged here is a pump, and it's the Ice Cap Evo 2000. So it comes with its pump already. Let's see what else is in here. All right, and then it comes with a ballast power supply with a nice seal here for your UV bulb. And of course, you don't want to mount this above water, but it's got a nice long cord, so I can mount this over in my control panel section and then run the cord over to the UV light in the sump. So that's the ballast. And there it is. There's the unit itself. I'll call this the vessel because water is going to pump from the bottom here into a section with UV light that emits around it, and the bulb will go in up here and then screw into the ballast and power it. So that's why it's black. It'll be dark here and then UV light inside there. Pretty cool. I love that it's you know, an assembled piece of equipment on a stand with the right height. This looks like it's just going to screw in the bottom. We'll get to that in a second. And then it'll have a return pump, or a return line with adjustable flow right here that you can adjust this thing for the flow rate. And there's not all kinds of plumbing to do, figure out where you're going to put it in your sump. You just drop this guy in there. And that's why I was all excited when I saw that this existed. Okay, like most products these days, there's just a QR code for installation instructions, and there's basically 5 instructions. It'll have a component list, shows you all the parts. There's not many parts to this thing. It comes all assembled. It has a little kind of a rubber washer here, or a sealant for the pump. So even though the pump has a thread on it here, this washer just kind of fits on there, and then this just pushes in there, so there's no threading or anything like that. And this is enough to seal it. Give it a nice hard push, and then the pump's on there. That's all there is to installing the pump. And then you've got the quartz sleeve and the bulb that slide in up here. They thread in, then you thread in the power. The return water doesn't need any glue. You just give that a slide in there, give it a couple pushes and a turn, and then you can take the little angle part, angle it wherever you want the flow to come out, and then it's just to drop in, plug it in, turn it on. Now you want this on a protected outlet. I'm going into my Hydros launch on this, and actually I'm probably going to go into my XP8 so I can see the power draw on it. And I'll have to take a device off that. I think I've got all those things filled up. But I'm going to go ahead and power up the pump, power up the light, drop it in, and start adjusting the flow. And we'll take a look at it, and hopefully we'll get the results that we want. So the bulb and the quartz sleeve just come in these cardboard tubes to protect them. And so you want to be real gentle with these. I went ahead and put on rubber gloves so that I don't get any oils from my hands or anything like that onto these. Now UV sterilizers, they do require maintenance. So you from time to time you're going to want to take this out and wipe it with a cloth and keep it nice and clean. And this just slides down inside here. You want to be real gentle. It's glass or quartz, and it fits right in there. And then you go ahead and you get your bulb. We'll take that out. And there's your UV bulb. The guy that does all the magic, nice and protected in there. And we're going to slide that down inside like so. You know what? I'm going to wait and plug it in. Okay, so I've got this UV sterilizer here. Actually, I think I want to go, I really want the cord to go this way, but I need the outlet. So I'm going to actually go like this. Well, I need the pump to. So you got to figure out the best way that it fits in your sump. And for me, this might not be it, but we're going to give it a try. So you just drop it in there and give it a turn. That's how I want it, right like that. And then I'm going to turn the outlet pipe a little. Just like that. Now I went ahead and I installed the cord for the bulb here. And what I did was I measured the length so that if it falls, it doesn't hit the water. So you can see it's not going to hit the water. And then I can plug it right into the bulb. I've got the bulb installed there already. This might not be the best way to do it, but I didn't know how to do it any better right in the sump. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my rubber gloves on. I'm going to tip it so I can get it out of there and plug it in better. I'm going to put my rubber gloves on so that I don't touch the bulb with my hands. Okay, I've got my rubber gloves on. Now a bunch of you are watching and you're thinking, oh, do it a different way. You're watching this in real time. I'm figuring it out as I go. So yeah, of course there's probably an easier way. But I want to get where I can see what I'm doing and know that I'm getting this bulb plugged in correctly. It's in. It's pushed all the way in the bulb. And then I'm going to screw this guy on, nice and snug. I mean, how awesome is this? You saw how easy it is. You just drop it in your sump. Man, all the other guys that are buying these things and you have to buy plumbing and all this kind of stuff, it looks too hard. And that's what I love about this solution. And I don't know why it took so long to design something that you just drop in your sump. So I hope it works as good as the design is. Okay, so now all I have to do is plug it in. I've already got the bulb plugged into my XP8 from Hydros, and now I'm going to plug in the pump to my XP8 and configure those two things and then turn it on and run it. Okay, there's my little grouper. Check it out. He's here to eat. He saw me coming. I was just getting ready to film. My wife goes, there he is. Oh, wow. He just goes right after that food. Goes right after it. Did you see that? Check this out. He's got one more little piece. Oh, he's spitting it out. You got it? You see him eating? Come on, eat that up. Don't leave that waste in there. Oh, the clownfish is going to come get it. He's eating the little pieces. So anyway, he's looking amazing. He turns kind of dark in color. He'll change and hide down there in the rocks. But I've never seen my water this clear. So I've had my UV sterilizer running for about 24 hours. And I've got it down here in the sump. You saw me set it up. And one thing I wanted to point out is that it has this flow adjuster here. It's just a valve to see how much flow. But there's really no way to know just how much it's flowing. So I just went ahead and stuck my hand down in front of the outlet here just to feel it. And actually when I adjusted it, some little bubbles came out so that I can feel about the flow. Nothing scientific at all, but I wanted to see the flow rate, so I adjusted it open and it felt stronger. I adjusted it down pretty low because my thinking is that if the water's traveling in there longer, slower outlet, that it's being exposed to the UV light longer. Now the flip side of that is not as much volume is going through. So you know, I'm trying to find that middle ground which will kill the dinos that are coming through the water column and not just go through there and not kill them. So I've slowed it down. I don't know, leave a comment if you know about this. I'm going to ask some folks about it as well, about what the flow should be. Should it be fast or slow? I've got it pretty slow right now. So that's the UV sterilizer. But before we go, I wanted to show you one more thing that I picked up. This I got a few weeks ago. I got a new, which is perfect timing since I've been getting all this algae, a new scraper for this tank. Now I've got the mag float scraper for my other tank, and I needed a bigger one for this bigger tank. One, because it's larger surface, and because the glass is thicker. So I saw this one and it had some cool artwork on it, and the artist was from Sarasota, Florida, which I thought was really cool. And let me just pull it out of the box. This is the Flipper Edge Max. And the other thing that really appealed to me about it, I don't know if you can see it, it comes with plastic scrapers and metal scrapers. So if you have an acrylic tank, you can use the plastic. And then it's got the felt side and also a smooth side with the scraper side. So what you do with this thing is, I think is why they call it a flipper. It'll flip from one side to the other in the tank. There's the cool artwork. Isn't that awesome? It's really nice, huh? So get a close-up of this. The other thing that's awesome about it is it's thin. So I'm able to get behind my my flow pumps here which I couldn't ever before. It always hit them. So, and even my aquascape, it's really thin. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in there so you can see how this works. It's, you know, how does a mag scraper work? No, it really is cool. It's a little bit, I like this one better than the other ones that I have. So there it is mounted in there, and you just, of course, you're going to just drag it across your glass like any scraper. But if you can see, come up close, if you can see the profile inside there, it's really thin. So going past my rocks, which is really close right here, I've got a lot of room. See all the room that's there? I don't have to worry about hitting my aquascape that's close to my glass. Let's go over here by this flow. Look at here. I can get right up behind my flow pump because it's so thin. That's pretty awesome, right? And it scrapes really good. Now the other thing that's really sweet about this, come over here where you can get a shot from the front. The flipper, that's the scraper side, and then when you want to polish to the other side, you just flip this. So you take the flipper off and you flip it. Whoop, you flip it, and bloop, it flips. Let me do it better because I haven't practiced for on camera, but you just flip this thing and it'll flip the, oh wow, flips it right around. I guess that's why they call it a flipper. So I like, you know, you get it over to the polished side. Whoop. Flip it to the polished side. Now you got your soft polishing side. So yeah, this thing's sweet. And it's super large. This one's really strong because it's so big. But anyway, that's the flipper max edge. I've got a couple other mag scrapers, but this one, since I started using it the other day, it's superior. It's super strong, which is good on the thick glass. And I love the two sides, and I love the really easy to replace blades. So that's the new scraper I got. Hey, that's all I have for you this week. But before you click off, let me ask you to do all that YouTube stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please leave a comment, and then we'll see you on the next one.